everybody. Welcome to Pro World Live. I'm Danielle from Pro World.
I'm Gianna, who's cutting tape.
Oh, she's prepping. And our cameraman.
Yay.
So welcome back. I feel like it's been a while since we talked to you last. We weren't live on Friday since we were live last Wednesday. But thanks for joining us again for this Friday's session. And we are going to be walking you through all the steps for sublimating onto a coffee mug. But like always, before we get started, let us know where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time joining us as well, we'd like to know that. And so go ahead and list them off for us.
All right. We are checking in from West Virginia, Kentucky, Maryland, Southern California, South Carolina, Missouri.
Hello, everybody.
Hola.
Oh, that's what you're going with?
Hi.
All right. It's still coming in, but we're going.
I checked the timing. This is actually a full year that we've been doing these from home since COVID last year kind of adjusted our setting.
So today, last year, was our first Facebook Live.
Yeah, from home, yeah. And, Gianna joins me every Friday, along with my husband, who's the cameraman. She just kind of, since she's virtual still for school. So this is, a nice little anniversary for us, I guess. So 1 year since we've been home.
I'll make a cake.
You're going to make a cake for us?
Yeah.
Well, how about we just make coffee mugs?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right.
I have cocoa in mine.
Yeah. Okay, so our ceramic mugs have a really nice glossy white coating on them. And we have our TransPro mug press that we're going to be working with. And we have printed our designs. We'll do this one first. It's a mirror image on our text print R paper using our Sublimation printer. And I always like to do kind of 2 designs on the sheet just to save my paper. And you're just going to kind of cut your design top and bottom, or you don't have to trim it too much. And then you're going to place the design where you want it on your mug and wrap it around. And your design, as you can kind of see here, I've stopped my design here, but your design should probably, so I stopped my design, that's the edge of my design. I like to leave about 1 inch of space between my handle and where my design starts, just to make sure that I can sublimate it really nice and get a nice, good coverage with my mug press. If you go all the way to the handle, when we close it up in the mug press, you'll see kind of where it falls, but it won't be tight enough and it will kind of ghost your image for you. You don't want that. So let me just make sure that I am lined up where I want. Okay, can I get those 2 pieces of tape that you got for me?
Yeah.
All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to continue some shout outs here. We are checking in from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Tyler, Texas, Elgin, South Carolina, Canada, Minnesota, New Hampshire, Canada. Did I say Canada already? Yeah, I did. I said Canada twice.
That's
Oi,
a lot of Canada.
I just want to say Canada. Hey, Atlanta, Puerto Rico. The Bay area is in the house. Yeah. Columbus, Ohio. And Jacksonville, the Bangham is in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Hometown there. Adair, Illinois. Yeah. Hopefully I said that right. Yes, Minnesota is in the house. Indiana, I can't even say that. Vincennes, Indiana. Brooklyn. In South Carolina, Southern California. I can't even speak. See, now look at that. See, I threw myself off.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for checking in. That's awesome.
Everyone.
So what we're going to do is I've already set up my pressure for my mug press, but I'm just going to kind of show you. When you slide, this is the mug that doesn't have a print on it already. So you're going to slide it in and keep your handle face up and close and lock your heat press. This should have a nice snug fit. Like you should really feel it kind of clamp in. If you need to adjust, you would turn this knob on the mug press. To the left, we'll tighten it. To the right, we'll loosen it. So it's a bit opposite from
Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty.
Yeah, it's a bit opposite from what you normally would do. But you'll kind of see the screw on this kind of moving around, so that will give you a good guide. All right, so I have my image taped. I just do 2 pieces of tape on either side of my paper. And then I have my nonstick sheet. I cut, just so you can get an idea, I've cut this is your full nonstick sheet. So I've cut it into pieces to make a little one for my mug. All right, and then you're gonna wrap this around. And the nonstick sheet is really to help keep your mug press nice and clean. And we're just gonna slide it right in. And just make sure that where you have your paper and where your mug is, that you have enough area for your heating element around the edges. So I don't know if we can sort of zoom in. Oh, and start your timer. If we can zoom in, I'll sort of turn it. So my mug edge is here and my heating element is where you see it there. So it is brought in a bit from the edges, and that's good. That's what you want. You don't want your mug to sit directly on the edge of your heating element. Like you don't want your mug edge here, because that's not going to give enough coverage and you might get some ghosting.
This is warm.
So we are at 400 degrees for 240 seconds. And this is going to get just enough of our, it will kind of drop when you, okay, so when you put your mug in, your temperature is going to drop significantly because of the coldness of the mug or how it's stored. Keeping it in for the 4 minutes, that's going to allow it to build that temperature back up and then imprint onto your mug. So that's why we suggest that timing for our mugs, our mug press, and the prints that we work with. That's what we found is the best kind of timing and temp. All right. Do we have any questions?
We do have a couple, and I still got a couple shout outs. Midtown Ohio is in the house. Dayton, Ohio, down the street from Springfield is in the house.
We went there.
Yes, we have been there. We have family there. Hardwood Heights, Illinois. Okay.
I'm so excited to do these shout outs.
I know.
If you can't tell.
I love it.
How can they not tell?
All right. So a couple questions here. One question is, sorry, I'm scrolling here. It was up here somewhere. All right. What is the brand of mugs that you're using?
So they're not a name brand. We kind of they do come from China, but we don't have them branded. They're if you're looking for the grade, we don't have them advertised as any particular grade, but they hold up beautifully. So they're not branded any particular name.
How do you know it's from China? I don't see any sticker.
You answered the one question.
Oh.
About the temperature change.
And these mugs are coated with the sublimation coating. So they're all polymer coated and then they're ready to go. So but that's always one of those questions for, when printing on a mug, do I need a specific mug or can I just, buy one from the dollar store or Walmart? You can't use those. You do have to use a mug that's coated for sublimation.
Okay. All right. Chicago's in the house. Fresno, California's in the house. Dallas, Texas. How about them Cowboys is in the house? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Question, what kind of vinyl do you use on these mugs?
So we're not printing vinyl today. This is sublimation. If you were to print vinyl, or to use vinyl, you would use the sign vinyl. You would use adhesive sign vinyl. That's the permanent style. And then you would not need a mug press for anything like that. You would just need your mug, sign vinyl, and a squeegee.
Okay, so I have put the thing.
Did you? That's where you wanted on that side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on the front.
All right. Oklahoma's in the house. New Market, Alabama is in the house. I'm getting
you're gonna ask like a question and you do more shout outs.
I'm getting there.
Well, we have 13 seconds, so
okay.
Hold your thought.
Okay,
10.
I'll hold.
8.
What are you
6.
just counting certain numbers?
4.
Don't
2.
forget, when you press your mugs, your temperature
0.
is
400 degrees. Oh, and stop your timer. 400 degrees, 240. And then you should always wear gloves. Don't be like me.
She is a vampire.
And voila!
My beautiful
Let's
loving
take a look.
cup.
Super fun. I love this.
What does that say? Peace, love,
Puppy
and
dog.
dogs.
We're a dog family.
Yeah, buddy.
Woo!
Although
But-
he seems to not be wanting to bother us today. So
But it's super bright, nice, brilliant color, and that's what you want with sublimation. You want something that's going to really, really pop on the mug. And what you would do after this, I don't have this set up, but you'd have a warm bowl of water, and you would dip your mug into the warm bowl of water. This helps to stop the sublimation process so you don't get any kind of gassing. When you get the most gassing and when it's most obvious is on black text. So especially with like that kind of text, what you'll see is like kind of like a little spread where like the black will just start to kind of seep out a little bit. So that's what that warm bowl of water would really be helpful for. It didn't set it up for us because it's always cold in our house. And by the time we would have, gone live, the bowl would have been cold. And then if I dipped it, I would have cracked my mug. So you always want a nice warm bowl of water to kind of just dip it in, finish it, and you're done.
When you started that sentence, I was like, wait, that's so you can dip it in water and then then put it into a bowl.
What are we doing here?
I don't know. I think she's creating her own design there.
No, I'm creating something for
Question,
my
what is ghosting? For those who don't know.
You know what? I wish I had those other mugs.
Yeah.
So ghosting. So okay, when you have a sublimation print and you let's take the ceramic mug. You print it on your mug, and how sublimation works is that when you heat it up in your heat press, the ink releases at a gas at 400 degrees and then imprints onto the surface. So that's why we tape our paper. That's why we make sure that we have enough pressure, because when you remove the paper, or if the paper wasn't super tight, when that ink releases as the gas onto the surface, there's going to be like a gap, and it'll sort of fuzz instead of give you a nice crisp, clean design. So ghosting is when you see a shadow of the sublimation print, and that can be absolutely resolved by tight pressure, making sure your tape is nice and tight when you're pressing the product, and dipping it in water to kind of stop the sublimation process. And the mugs are really the only ones that you would need to do that for.
Okay. These are the 11-ounce mugs, right?
Yes, these
Okay.
are 11 ounce.
Excuse me.
Your 15 ounce has a different style bottom to it. They have like a kind of curve to the bottom.
Yep, 15 ounce.
That's
Are
11.
these
11 ounce.
this mug press that you're using, is it able to do a bigger press, like a bigger mug?
So this one can handle the 15 ounce style mugs and also water canteens. And you can also print the little wine cups in this mug press as well. So, but just kind of keep in mind, like 3 1/4 is like the best width diameter for a product. So there's so many different options for like different style mugs and different widths and how they're kind of shaped. So just keep in mind like the 3 1/4 is your diameter that it should be.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to adjust this a little bit because your print was too high up here.
All right. Quick question. What the paper you're using for sublimation is called?
So this is text print paper that I'm using.
All right.
You're gonna have to cut me 2 more pieces of tape.
And
Let me just trim this.
which size is considered standard? Which press would I purchase from you guys?
So this particular mug press, this is the TransPro 3-in-1 mug press. So I have 3 heating elements. I have this small standard one that can do the 11, the 15, and the water canteens. And then you get get a small latte style heating element, and then a tall latte style heating element. So for tall tumblers or travel mugs. And if you were, so that's the 3-in-1, and it includes those 3 heating elements. If you were just to get the standard TransPro mug press, then you just get the 1 heating element, which is the standard. So it can do the 11, the 15, and the water bottles.
There you go.
You can always you can always get the attachments later. So the other heating elements could work for both units, the TransPro mug or the TransPro 3-in-1 mug press.
So they only go up to about a size 15 press?
For
the heating element could press about a 15-ounce?
A 15-ounce mug, yes. But like water canteens, for example, are 17-ounce. Or skinny tumblers are 20-ounce. So it can print those other ones, the different size volume, but it really just depends on the width of your product that you're printing on.
Okay.
You wanted it here, you said?
Yeah.
Which is the standard direction to apply single side image?
You know, I personally find that, oh, that one's a dirty piece of tape.
Dirty tape? Get out of here.
Oh, can you cut me another piece of tape? I like to put it where I see it instead of out for that. So if I'm holding it in my right hand, I would want my design to be here. So as I'm sipping, I can enjoy my pretty mug that I've made. Now, if you're doing it for more promotional or a logo for a company, I would probably put it this way. So that way the person walking around with the mug, then you would see the design out.
She means other people.
So a display.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Thank you.
Not you as people.
Not you as people. Here, I'll take that piece of tape.
So in other words, it's basically wherever you want to put it.
Kind of. Like Gianna wants to put it right here. So that's where this one's going to go.
I want to put this in my dollhouse.
So we're gonna do it again in case people are just tuning in. So we've taped our mug, 2 pieces of tape. Wrap it around with your nonstick sheet and slide it on in. Kind of open up your Teflon sheet, look to where that mug is sitting within your heating element. I always like to kind of just push my mug down just to make sure it's nice and secure, and close and lock and start my time. 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 240 seconds.
Okay. Question.
I know that was
do you reverse your image when you're sublimating?
Yes. For the mugs, you would absolutely mirror image before you print. So yeah, so you can see like this one is backwards and then it prints and it's perfect.
Okay.
I really like this mug. I'm going to make one for myself.
Mirrored imaged.
Okay. Daddy, do you want one? Mom says she's going to make one.
I think we have enough mugs.
We do.
No, of this one.
Well, our cabinet is overflowing with mugs.
One fell on Nana.
He says my temp drops when I start. What should I adjust the time?
Nope, you're going to keep the time. Your temp drops because it is such a small heating element. And when you put a cold ceramic mug, it kind of shocks that heating element and it drops the temp. It's fine. Keep it as it is. And then it will build up your temp, and keeping it at the 240 seconds, that's going to give it plenty of time to imprint. If you find after the 240 that a lot of your ink is still on your paper and not on your mug, then you can always keep it on, within the unit for longer. But I found that 240 really does kind of, it works for when I'm working with this particular mug press.
I also found something out.
Question, Can you press on colored mugs if they are sublimated? And will the picture stay nice?
So the idea for sublimation ink is that it's a transparent ink. So when you print onto a colored surface, what will happen is that color will affect your coloring of your print. So, for example, if you have a yellow mug and you go to print a blue sky, your blue sky will now become green because it's affected by that yellow. So just keep that in mind. If you are going to be printing on colored surfaces and colored mugs, always do a darker color than what your mug is. So that way it doesn't really affect it too much. So black ink on a yellow mug would be perfectly fine and look really nice. But that's your kind of takeoff when you do a colored surface.
Okay. Yes, mugs would make a great Easter gift. So
yes,
if you guys are thinking about it,
absolutely.
have at it. Have fun.
So will a basket of Peeps and chocolate eggs.
Oh yeah,
wow.
That's where you're going with that?
Yeah.
All right, any other questions? We have about 60 seconds before this one's done.
There are, let me see. Do 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 do.
I guess not. You're just going to sing it out?
I'm just trying to scan through some of these questions here.
Let me see if this one
what about white ink on black sublimation mug?
So, if you have a black surface mug, you won't be able to get white ink because you don't have white ink within your sublimation printer. Your only color cartridges that you have are the CMYK. So cyan, yellow, magenta, and black. Since you don't have white ink, you wouldn't be able to do that on a black mug. Now, there are other printers out there that offer that white toner if you have a specific sublimation printer that offers the white. But for the Virtuoso printer that we work with, you wouldn't have that opportunity to do that. Thank you. You would be able to do white vinyl, signed vinyl on it, but not ink.
Got it.
Ta-da!
Cool.
Look how cute
Ooh,
that
let's
is.
see
I
this.
love it.
Let's see this mug here.
And here, you can hold that paper up.
Rainbows only.
Rainbows
Follow
only
storms.
Follow storms.
Oh, that's cute.
So just so you can see, all of my ink has released from the paper, and that's what you want to see. You don't want to see any areas where it looks, like when you started. This is it before it's printed. So if you see any kind of like bright areas of ink left on your paper, it's not printed long enough.
Okay, so before, medium,
And after.
Very nice. Very nice.
Now you're gonna have to drink your mug like this so you can see it.
No.
No, it's hot. It's hot. It's only not hot for me because
I just
Mommy.
go like
I have no
this.
feeling left. It's fine.
Okay.
You're a vampire.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No, but hi from California.
Hello.
Yes, one question. All right. Should you always put the protector around your mug before you press?
Yes, the nonstick sheet. This is really a great tool to use because it keeps your platen clean. You always want to start with a nice clean platen. If you were doing, like, let's say for this design, I had cut my paper here and here. So I left these two areas really exposed. If for some reason this platen was dirty or I had excess ink that kind of gassed out onto the edges of my platen, those would imprint back onto my mug. So I always like to try and do a full wrap for a mug and then use my nonstick sheet to kind of keep everything protected so I know that nothing's going to affect my final product. I'm not going to get any kind of little strays of ink that will kind of imprint back onto my mug.
Okay. Someone says, I love the Rainbow Storms design. Where can we purchase it?
This one was actually, I purchased this from Design Bundles. They had a special going on. So I got it from them. So
This
definitely
is
take a
really-
look for that one.
This is really pretty. I
Okay.
like how it has like a mixed kind of cloudy thing there, and then the glitter.
It is a very pretty design.
Can you ever reprint on mugs if you did not leave it in long enough?
If you don't remove your paper, you can. You can just leave it alone and restart it. If you do remove your paper and you kind of lift it up to peek and realize, oh, it didn't really quite imprint, and then you lay it back down, you're going to get ghosting. Because that moment that you release it,
You let air in.
exactly. When you let air in, that's exactly the moment that the ink is like, oh, let me go.
Mhm.
And it goes wherever. So
Good job, Daddy.
then when you lay it back down, you're going to see that shadow. So always best to kind of, when you pull it out, inspect it first. If you don't like how it looks, the paper edges, then you can just slide it back in and restart, or, start your time back up.
Okay. And because you don't have a bowl of water here, it's not necessary that you dip it in the water to stop the process?
I don't have it just for the video purposes, but if you are at home printing mugs, I would absolutely recommend that you have a warm bowl of water, dip it in. It's after you remove the paper, that's when you dip it, and then you set it aside. So that always helps to stop the sublimation process. But it has to be a nice warm bowl of water. It can't be a cool bowl. You will crack your mug, and you'll hear it kind of just crackle through that. Exactly, that noise.
That's a duck, though.
So it has to be warm. For the purposes of live, I couldn't have the bowl of water stay warm because our house is cold.
Unless we did it,
Unless you ran to go get me water. But
right now.
Okay.
All right, any other questions?
Just this last one. Someone was told to use butcher paper instead. Is that true, or can they just use the Teflon sheet?
Whatever you're comfortable with. I personally use the Teflon sheet because I like that extra heat that it also kind of brings to the mug. But you can definitely use the butcher paper too. It really serves the same purpose of keeping your area clean.
Okay.
All right.
Excuse me.
As we're coughing up a storm over here.
Yeah.
Allergy season.
More
Never
mugs,
good.
more mugs, more
right.
mugs.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching and tuning in with us today. We will be here next week for you. Same time, same place. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.
More mugs. Woo!